All right, so after 2 years waiting, Michael Chandler on the sidelines, doing as he's told, like a good little boy, like McGregor said he will do.
He'll do what you're told.
He's finally said, no, enough is enough. He can't take it anymore. He's done waiting. He's sick of it, and he's moved on.
You guys can ask Dana how long the timeline was going to be until Conor actually comes back, but it was too long for me. I'm not waiting around.
The show must go on for Michael Chandler, and of course we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about the Madison Square Garden card, which was just announced, of course, headlined by Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. The wait is over in that regard as well. I mean, come on, we're all sick of talking about this. Jon Jones, Stipe, Tom Aspinall, this whole thing, this back and forth, the shit talking online, the Tom Aspinall campaign. Obviously, he wants to fight Jon Jones. He wants to fight Stipe. He just wants to fight someone and get the undisputed title,
John?
which I do believe is in his future. I do believe he beats either of those men. But will he get a shot at doing that? And for Conor McGregor, what is he doing? Where is he? Listen, I do believe he'll come back, right? And he's saying that he's very, very frustrated. He did some interviews and he said he's been sick of being on the sidelines and he wants an exemption. He wants to fight bare knuckle. He wants to box. He just wants to get back in there. I don't know if that is the case. I don't know if that's true. But what we do know is that it is finally confirmed that Michael Chandler has moved on from this escapade and he's going to fight Charles Oliveira, okay? Chandler said that the fight was rebooked for January 25th.
We had a fight booked January 29th. He pulls out of the fight. Immediately, we start looking at other options. And here we are. Now I'm fighting Charles, #1 contender fight.
Remember, he's been waiting on the sidelines for 2 years. They coached the Ultimate Fighter together. That is a lot of earning potential for Michael Chandler. Yes, I'm sure he's getting a very nice payday for Conor McGregor, 2 million, 3 million. I don't know what it would have been, but he could have fought 6 times in the last 2 years. So surely he could have made more money there. He could have risen in popularity. He could have been the champion by now. He could have done a lot of things. But in the prime of his career, the prime of his earning power, he spent 2 years on the sidelines. They offered him, apparently, according to Chandler, January 25th. Conor said no, and Chandler said, that's it, I'm done. That's enough. I'm out of here. The show must go on. So he's stepping in against Charles Oliveira. We know this is a rematch. Of course, Chandler had some success in the first fight. He did hurt Oliveira, but he also got hurt himself. He got dropped. So this is a very relevant fight for Michael Chandler. It's not the Conor McGregor matchup, but it is a fight that is relevant in the title picture.
I beat Charles, and then if Conor can get his house in order finally, then he and I can finish that. If not, I'll go beat Islam.
If Chandler can go out there, if he can beat Charles Oliveira, if he can get his hands on Islam Makhachev next, which is what he says that he wants, and become the champion of the world, and then get a fight with Conor McGregor down the line, and even though Conor McGregor shouldn't get a title fight, and I know you all say I'm crazy, the man is super popular, and numbers talk, right? Money talks, bullshit runs the marathon. If Chandler is the champ, and Chandler said that McGregor's road back to the octagon only goes through him, we could see Chandler versus McGregor for the lightweight strap. But there's a lot of if, buts, and maybes there, but still, the wait is finally over in that regard. So they announced the main event, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. We kind of knew this was happening. We knew it was coming. It's not a surprise, but it's finally announced once and for all. Jon Jones was there last night at the Sphere. What an incredible show that was. I'm sure you'll all agree. And he was enjoying himself. He had the cowboy hat on. He was having a little dance to the Mexican music. And he was hanging out with Ryan Garcia. Dana White even said, you know, it's a little troubling seeing him hang out with Ryan Garcia. And Dana said, listen, he's promised me there'll be no shenanigans. There'll be no bullshit. There'll be no partying, staying up all night, getting out of shape and getting up to crazy shit.
Jon Jones is running loose and wild here tonight in Las Vegas, so. Oh, they're out tonight. I hope that's not true. Listen, Jon promised me tonight that he's going to be good while he's in Las Vegas, so.
But Ryan Garcia is not the best person to be hanging around with. In that clip, Ryan Garcia, and I could be wrong, but I got a bit of experience at this.
Are you intoxicated?
He looked absolutely wasted.
I'm left. Hey, I don't care. I'm still going to try to hit him with the left hook. It's probably not going to work, but I'm going to try that shit.
We blessed.
Ali favor.
But of course, Jon Jones isn't going to risk it. He should have learned from his experiences, unless you're a fool. Okay, most people, you make mistakes. You try not to replicate those mistakes again. He has been out on the sidelines. He's got a massive test against Stipe Miocic. A lot of people are disregarding Stipe Miocic, the threat of him in this fight. I'm telling you, it's not guaranteed. It is not a certainty that Jon Jones beats Stipe. Stipe has already said that he's going to retire. Jon Jones has alluded to that. Tom Aspinall is going to be there waiting in the wings to get his hands on either one of them. He is the backup fighter. And if either man gets sick, if either man doesn't make weight, if either man stubs their toe, sneezes too hard, Tom Aspinall will make in a case to get in the octagon as the replacement fighter and finally achieve his destiny and become the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
If I need to, I'll fight both of them the same night, no problem. Give me my undisputed title.
And speaking of Jon Jones, at the Sphere last night, he came face to face with the one and only Alex Pereira. And when you see these two side by side, they are similar sizes. In fact, Alex Pereira might even be bigger than Jon Jones. Speaking of these two, by the way, Pereira did an interview and he said he's going to be training with Jon Jones because they're fighting around similar times. Pereira is going to help Jones. Jones is going to help Pereira, and it could be a match made in heaven, and it could be a match that we get to see down the line.
Size-wise, do you feel like you could get in there with a guy like that?
Jones a heavyweight size. I feel like I'm heavyweight size too. And I don't know if I'll be able to share the cage with him, but at least I want to get the experience of training with him.
Listen, Tom Aspinall's next if Jones doesn't retire. But tell me, you don't want to see Alex Pereira go up and become a 3-weight division champion, or at least have the potential to do that. I am not in any way, shape or form campaigning for that to happen. No way. Tom Aspinall should be the next man in line. But hey, the man is extremely popular and the people might want to see it. And the UFC put on the fights that people want to see. My God, our pets' heads are falling off. Now, what do we think about this thing with Conor McGregor? The man's got tons of money. He's living his life and fair play to him. He's having a whale of a time. He's currently out there promoting the whiskey and all the rest of it. He's serving drinks. He's down in shots. He's down in pints. He's having a whale of a time. And he's earned the right to do this. However, he's still talking about fighting. Said he wants to box, said he wants to be bare knuckle, and he wants to be the champion of the UFC again.
As far as Chandler rematching Oliveira, I'm happy with the date. It's November. Maybe we can still do it after, if they're not going to line me out till maybe December, January, February, or one of these dates.
What do you think? Do you think we'll see him come back? I do. I do think we'll see him come back, but I don't know when it will be. Your guess is as good as mine. So let's go through the card at the epic Madison Square Garden venue. It is a legendary place to box. Some of the fights over the years have just been incredible. Legendary boxers, you name, and they've all fought there, including me. I defended my belt against George St. Pierre and UFC 217. Of course, it didn't go my way, but I tell you what, I am still proud to have fought at this legendary venue. And on this card, we have, of course, main event, Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic. Michael Chandler taking on Charles Oliveira, which we did not think we'd see. We also have Bo Nickal taking on Paul Craig, right? This is an interesting matchup. Bo Nickal, of course, without a shadow of a doubt, is by far the better wrestler. But Paul Craig, when he gets taken down, because he will get taken down, he will test Bo Nickal on the ground, and you never know. Stylistically, this might do Paul Craig a favor. He could get a win over a highly touted prospect like Bo Nickal, because let's remember, he submitted champion Jamal Hill, and he's the only man to defeat and submit Magomed Ankalaev, who should be fighting for a title very, very soon. Also on the card, Chris Weidman returns, the former champ, the man that broke Anderson Silva's leg, but he's also still an extremely talented fighter. He'll be going up against the hard-hitting Eryk Anders. And no doubt Chris Weidman, being a New York native, he's going to have the crowd on his side. That's going to be an epic fight as well. Weidman in New York. He's been very unlucky at MSG. He hasn't got a win. He's taken knees of Yoel Romero, knees of Gegard Mousasi. It hasn't gone his way fighting at home in that legendary venue. Will this be the one? And then also, my mate from the podcast, will be talking about this tomorrow on the Believe You Me podcast, Anthony Smith against Dominick Reyes. That is a tough fight for both men. Dominick Reyes went out there knocking everybody out, including Chris Weidman, fought Jon Jones. In a lot of people's opinions, beat Jon Jones, then had a fall from grace. But then he came back and he's got the knockout power back. He seems to have refound his mojo. And of course, coming off the back of the loss to Roman Dolidze, Anthony Smith has got a lot to prove. He's a great fighter. He's very well-rounded. He's big and he's still hungry. So that's a great fight. And of course, opening up the main card, or on the main card, we don't know about the order just yet, Natalia Silva having a quick turnaround. She just won last week, put an absolute beat down on her opponent, Jessica Andrade. And if she gets this one done against Viviane Araujo, we might see a fight for a title in the future. That's a stacked main card. Very excited for that one. But of course, the main talking points, Jon Jones, Stipe finally on. Michael Chandler finally returns to the octagon. The wait is over for everybody. And for Tom Aspinall, he'll be watching this. He'll be there. And finally, we get a little bit of resolve in the heavyweight picture. Will Jon Jones retire? Will he walk away? Will he succumb to pressure and stick around? Or will he stick around because he just wants to prove, hey, I'm the baddest man on the planet? Let me know what you think in the comments down there below. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for supporting it. Take care.